Ladies and gentlemen, today I am brought in part by my good friend Ash. How are you doing today, Ash?
Darth, what's up, bro? How you doing?
It's another great day, and if you guys haven't seen it yet, we just did a collab over on Ash's channel, so make sure you subscribe to his channel and watch that video all the way through. Come back here, finish watching this one, because we are doing the second part, which is that he did, what was the 5 kind of dumbest, biggest mistakes we did, right?
And you officially called yourself the dumbest player of all time on that, so no big deal.
Okay,
no
it
big
might
deal.
actually be true. We're doing the opposite, which is kind of the 5 most important things that we've learned from doing the free-to-play in particular, is where this comes from, but we can expand it a little bit to Raid in general. And for me, I'm going to start it right off the bat. Even though you gave me the first one being generous and let me do it on your channel, I'm going to steal it this time and say that number 1 for me, and I'm kind of excited to share this one because it's my personal biggest mistake, was not respecting the Forge at all. Like when the Forge came out, I made a completely wrong opinion, saying that I think the Forge is basically going to be like a monetized thing with hammers. That's basically completely wrong. That's not what it ended up being. Instead, it's actually a pretty generous way of free-to-play and pay-to-play people to get gear. And I did not respect the Forge. So when I started playing free-to-play, I went through and I realized the Forge is actually amazing. It gave me basically the best gear I have on that account. Did you have a similar experience to this? What was your Forge experience?
I sure did. My best gear that I have on my account, not to copy exactly what you said, but all came directly from the Forge.
Yep, the perception gear is pretty nuts.
That's what I got, yeah.
Which I am pretty excited about. Now, the other question I have for you is, what's your number 1?
My number 1, first of all, yeah, Forge though, like, perception, you nailed it. 40 accuracy on a free-to-play in the beginning of this game is so huge.
With a speed bonus, yeah.
Oh my God, it's insane. Anyway, so my number 1, I don't know if it's my number 1, numerically, but the first.
Right, fair enough. The first on the list.
The first unveiling is going to be, I just never paid attention at all to events and tournaments going on, and so I found myself in the dumb position early on of basically, spending all my energy farming dragon, and then 2 days later there's a dragon tournament with an epic book or something, and an epic book, I mean, as we know, Darth, we can't go farm those somewhere. There's no way to farm them. So like I was losing out on my only opportunity, and I'm not going to get them from easy clan boss, so for me that was a big learning experience, that I have to pay much more attention on my free to play to events and corresponding tournaments to my dungeon farming and whatever else I'm doing in the game.
All right, I like that answer, and I feel a little attacked because I definitely did that. I've made that mistake as well. So, moving on to my number 2, and maybe you've had, let me see, it's your turn to feel. I'm going to ask you, maybe you've made this, focus.
I made a lot of them, man, so yeah.
So my focus that I learned from the free-to-play in particular was the rewards you get for going through on the achievements, campaigns, and like faction wars, like the completion ones, like getting this amount of stars, for instance, are very impressive. I mean, you can get like sacred shards, void shards, one of them was like 3 ancients. You get a lot of it. Oh, the cat's coming to visit the video here. Nope, kitty, let's all right, she can make a quick cameo. And I didn't respect those rewards at all, basically, on my main account. Like I'm pretty sure on my main account, if I look, like I'm not even completed with them. I think I still have, look, like my challenge, I'm on part 2 of the challenges, and this is my main account that, I've spent 16 grand on. I haven't even done these. Like I still have an ancient shard I can get. And that's for sure something I learned, is that you got to go through and do these, because a lot of these have like energy rewards, shard rewards, sacreds, that type of thing. Oh, yeah. So how about you? Have you had any experience with that too?
Yeah, man, like I'm embarrassed to say, I would love to say, this is like a first time I've confessed this publicly, but I would love to say, the first time I went through, I ignored all the missions and the quests and stuff, and I was just like, I just do what I want, And the second time I went through, I'm like, okay, well, I know I'm not going to do that again. And inevitably, it must be something about my personality or something. Inevitably, I fell behind, and I stopped doing them as much as I should. However, with that being said, I agree with you 100%. One thing that definitely struck me about the early game of Raid Shadow Legends is, and this is not a popular thing to say, but they give you a lot, man. They give you a lot. Like you get a lot of shards, you get way more gems than I was. I thought that gems for me as a free to play was going to be something that I never see, But I ended up getting enough gems to where I could buy kills masteries to start things out, because I didn't want to, farm the labyrinth for 100 hours,
Yep.
So, and maybe that was not the wisest decision, but 800 gems I was able to save up, and that's pretty crazy, at least to me. I wasn't expecting it.
You do get a pretty large amount, actually. I agree with that, because I did the same thing. I bought my masteries too in the beginning, which ended up, it turned out all right. It wasn't terrible.
And I'm sure it's like the number one thing you should be doing with your gems, but I was just like, yeah, let's do it.
All right. All right. Yeah. So what was your number 2 then?
My number 2 is being very, 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 very picky on the champions that you invest in. You have such a finite amount of resources. And I was telling you this off air too, but I'll say it again for your viewers. Oh my God, dude. As someone who spends money in this game, I did not have a healthy appreciation of just how much time goes into maxing one champion. Because even as a spender in this game, like, of course I still farmed, plenty of champions, but I would cheat here and there. I'd be like, oh, I'll buy some chicken here, or, I'm not, or I'll use a bunch of potions here, or whatever it may be. And, to actually upgrade and max out and rank up one champion, I know that like 90% of your viewers are like, yeah, big eye roll, bro. Yeah, it's tough, man. But it takes so much time, man. So that being said, yeah. I mean, we're talking about masteries. We're talking about potions for ascending these champions, books, which take 1,000,000 years to get, and then ranking up 1 billion food champions to sacrifice.
And then you have to get lucky that the book even lands on the right thing. Like with Mausoleum Mage, I needed 1 book Mausoleum Mage, but he ended up getting all of his books because he only...
Yeah. So I found myself, and this is a confession. It wasn't on purpose. It was accidental, but I found myself pulling champions that previously I had covered on my channel, who I said, this would be a great free-to-play option. But that's actually not true. I in a weird way, I feel like your barrier of a champion that you should upgrade ought to be a bit higher as a free-to-play, not a bit lower. So I would make the bad habit of constantly looking at rares and be like, that's a great free-to-play option, but it's actually the other way around. You need a real game changer because you can't invest in a bunch of champions as a free-to-play. Yeah. So be very picky on the champions that you do invest in, would be my second thing I learned.
Okay. All right, I like that. These are some pretty solid ansers. I'm feeling like we're getting a pretty decent video going together here. I'm liking it. Okay. Quick question. Here's a quick, intermission question. Here you go. What do you think about the 10x that is currently going on in the game with
it's great. I think it's great. I mean, here's my thing, man. I really, really, really want Deacon Armstrong, man. I really want him.
Okay.
I feel like he's such an incredible champion.
He's got a nice hat.
Yeah, man. I mean, aesthetically, he doesn't really do it for me. I think the other ones are like, he's probably one of the least attractive in terms of just like aesthetics. But with all that being said, I think he's an amazing champion. But I guess the video's out by now, so whatever. I pulled a bunch of shards. I didn't pull them.
Feels bad.
The legendaries are all really, really good. Necrot the Great is one of my favorite champions. I got very lucky and pulled him a while ago. So when he was introduced, and I use him everywhere. So,
that's the correct answer.
What do you think? What do you think?
I agree with you. I actually, for me, it's Necrot the Great. I mean, all the way. The things I looked at that raid toolkit that like shows you your pity or whatever, and I'm really close to pity, and Necrot the Great's on the 10x. So I'm like, gosh dang it, I'm gonna miss it.
Did you pull, or are you gonna pull, or?
I'm not gonna spend money on the game. Like I don't have a way to get void shards, so I'm no longer.
Oh, so your main account is all free to play too?
Yeah, no, I haven't spent money in the game in like over a year at this point.
Wow. Okay. Good for you. So, all right.
Anyway, good. Okay.
Intermission over.
There you go. Bonus round completed. I will go straight to my number 3, which is that the login reward gear the gear in particular that you get from the login rewards is predetermined stats, and the rolling is RNG, but the stats themselves are predetermined. Like you're going to get speed boots, you're going to get crit rate gloves, like you're going to get attack percentage chest. And the substats are determined too. Like you're going to get crit rate, you're going to get attack percentage, whatever. And it's actually really good. Like the login reward gear, I used all the way up to the end, and that gear is good enough to like farm 12-3 Bruto, for instance, on a farmer. So that's something that I realize is a really good tip probably for new players, which is that the gear that you start with, you can literally just take the gear you start with, and as soon as you get a character that's strong enough, you can farm 12-3 Bruto just with the starting gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah. It seems like gear from between the forge and the artifacts you just get from login is pretty solid.
No, it's fairly impressive, you know. So between the two, that's basically where I got most of my gear, which means, which I'm going to kind of roll into the third, fourth point, is that I don't really think you should waste too much time farming gear. So that's kind of like a part of the third one, is because you get a lot of good gear in the beginning. And so what you should do is, to kind of leech off your point, is focus down on a character and complete them instead. Like finish those masteries, the potions, you know, the chickens, whatever. And don't spend, like in the early time, I farmed some dragon in the beginning thinking it was smart, and it just was not. It took so much RNG just to get like one good piece of gear, and all that energy could have mastered somebody out basically entirely.
Good point. And again, yeah, you know, it's if you limit the number of characters you're working on, then it's definitely going to be helpful, because you don't need that much gear to equip them. So cool. Is that it? Is it my turn? That's
it. A wrap kapow. Now it's your number 3, boom. I believe.
All right, we're going. Well, let's stick with artifacts then. I have an artifact a tip or lesson or whatever, and that's especially as a free to play. Getting creative with your artifact sets, and not talking about early game, but maybe like mid game now, it's so crucial, so important. Like having your stun sets on your AoE attackers, having your shield sets on your high HP characters, getting extra utility. So if your character's a debuffer, throw them in a shield set with high HP or whatever, basically getting the most you can out of every single champion that you're using is really going to be tremendous in terms of the dividends it pays on your progression in this game, right? So for me, it was something that I kind of knew obviously from my main account, but it's so even more important, I feel like, especially those two sets, shield and stun for me, but I'm sure there's others as well. But getting those taking advantage of those artifact sets is going to be crucial, because it's going to allow you to beat areas that you just wouldn't otherwise be able to do as a free-to-play.
Those are good points as well. And the shield set in particular, here's the funny thing. My first transaction ever in the game, the first thing I ever purchased, this is true, is a shield set artifact set for $10. Okay.
Yeah, may or may not have been the best decision, but
you know what? Bad, right? I will defend, because in the day I thought it was so OP. Like I just downloaded the game from Mobile Gamer because I saw his ad for it, so I downloaded the game, and I thought Mobile Gamer's a good friend, and I think a good YouTuber. And when I got the game, I was in love with the game, and it said shield set, give all your allies shields. I'm like, this is amazing. So I bought and put it on, and then I went through the campaign with that shield set, thinking, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. And then I ended up accidentally selling it one day, and
oh, you sold it?
Yeah, no, I remember accidentally. Well, I think what I did is accidentally crunch the character it was on, if I remember right, and during a crunching spree when I was making room, and I was like, wait, my shield set.
Got you.
Got you. Well. Anyway.
Okay, well it's still a good one though. Okay, so actually, it was still mine, man. I'm calling my tip a good one. Good tip, Ash. Good job.
I'm with you. I agree with the shield set itself. Most busted. Yeah, I might steal that tip from my faction.
What is your favorite artifact set that is, for a free-to-play account other than shield and stun? Do you have like one that you particularly like, or?
Oh, besides shield and stun, that's good. I mean, everyone loves a good old speed set, but I gotta say perception. I mean, perception, resilience. But I did. This is maybe a little weird, but I built a deflection set on my free-to-play. Okay. And I actually didn't mind that because I put it on Sylar, weird enough, and then I put her both in my Fire Knight plus my Spider team. And you know how Fire Knight does the speed debuff or whatever? So sometimes she would actually reflect that back, which is kind of cool, But then, of course, it went land because he's got the shield up. But it is kind of cool, like how the deflection set works. But and for arena anyway, it worked out right. So
okay, cool.
Maybe deflection.
Good choice. Next up, I have or is it your turn?
Let's see. I think I have to do my last one now, right? Number 5, I believe.
Sure.
Okay, let's go with sure. So let's say that we're on number 5. Okay, clan v clan bonuses. So here's maybe my hot take. All right, obviously I wasn't a huge fan of the way clan v clan works. It's a giant book off. I crunched 1,500 mystery shards and got literally 0 rewards. Other than, which was pointed out to me a billion times in my comments, which apparently I must address. The milestone rewards, yes, which is where I say clan versus clan bonus is actually going to be pretty good for newer free-to-play people. Like people coming to the game now is where I'm going with this.
So the clan tournaments?
The clan tournaments, yeah. It's actually quite good because if you just look at it, beside the whole fact of like the top wells welling out or kind of, it's a little bit of a waste. If you just throw that aside and look at what it actually is, it does give you freebies essentially for just doing what you were going to do anyway, because you basically get points for the exact same thing. And if you want to do the stupid stuff like I did, the crunching 15 mystery charts, you can, but that you're not guaranteed the reward. So you can really blame me for making that mistake. And yeah, you know what I mean? And you could just say, hey, we'll just take the free rewards. And I did get milestone rewards. And if I was free to play and just chilling in a clan, farming dragon or whatever, you would get stuff for literally no cost. So I do like that. And I do believe as the game goes on, using your utmost to get all your free resources, especially as free to play, is really crucial. Because if you do it every single day, you get all the clan v clan, you do all the daily rewards, you do all that, you'll get way more over the time. Like I spent 6 months not even doing clan boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that is just dumb.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one because we spend so much time talking smack about clan versus clan tournaments, rightfully so, I feel like. However, that's true though. At the end of the day, even albeit being a flawed system or whatever, at the end of the day, I guess, it's still good rewards that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise for doing things that you normally otherwise would have done, right?
Right. Other than crunching 15 mystery share. But yeah.
Other than that. All right. So mine is kind of a lame one, but it's true, right? And despite the arena being so difficult right now, I mean, I don't know what your experience is like in arena on your free-to-play, Darth, but mine is too. It's frustrating because I can usually only beat about 2 of the teams out of the 10. I wish I was exaggerating there, but
I believe it.
I'm not.
I mean, that's if you're lucky and you can beat anyone.
Yeah, and the more pathetic thing is that the second part of that sentence, I guess, is that, and I'm in bronze. I'm not in silver. I'm not in gold. I'm not in platinum. I'm in bronze. But with all that said, though, I do think that keeping up with both faction wars because of the Forge primarily, and keeping up with arena, even though it feels futile and pathetic and like you're kind of wasting your time, I still think it's incredibly important because of how important the Great Hall is, especially free to play. So that's something that I ought to even do better at right now. I'm lucky if I get 10 attacks in a day on my free to play in arena, but it's something that I feel like I should do more,
It's an unfortunate truth that the Great Hall is essentially something you have to do if you want to go the extreme in game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're really wanting to go all the way, and it's some people really love arena, and that's cool because they have max Great Halls and they still sit there and spam it, and that's their thing, and that that's great and all that. But I feel like the real problem is I don't know if you just watched that battle, but even that wasn't even a free battle, you know what I mean? And this is Gold 1, and I have Seafy, Tundra, I have unfair champions, and it's the fact that I'm even seeing stuff like this in Gold 1. It's how could you ever imagine a free to play person trying to get their arbiter in this day and age? You know what I mean?
You're in Gold 1, and look at your team in Gold 1.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I know.
They're dealing with this too. I'm part of the problem. You know, I mean, it's.
Yeah, dude. I don't mind that they, they changed the algorithms and they did all. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just care about, then make the rewards better. If it's going to be that much more difficult, then allow us to be able to farm it still. You know what I'm saying? Or make more leagues or something. Anyway, at the end of the day, I guess that's neither here nor there, but arena is important. Kind of a curveball question for you, Darth.
Yeah.
Before we go, do you think a new Great Hall would make any sense attached to Tag Team Arena, or would that just be stupid?
I think that what that would do, in my personal opinion, is essentially raise the ceiling of base stats and require people who want to go to extreme in-game PvP in arena to have another thing that they're basically required to do. Because I'm sure you were competitive in multiple games, so you know that at the high end of anything, when something new comes out that is objectively good and better, you have to get it. You know what I mean? It's not a. It's not a question of if, it's when you're going to get it. And so it all that we do is temporarily force people to increase the power of the characters, and then everyone hits the limit again. And it really would just be an annoying thing for the viewers. You know?
So what do you? Yeah. I'm never-ending search for utility for Tag Team Arena. I guess the easy solution would just be to make the Bazaar better.
I completely agree. That's the
Right.
obvious reward. You make the Bazaar better,
Yeah.
people are going to line up to do it. Like you sell Void Shards and
me-
Sacreds at a decent price, people are going to do it.
Yeah, like put a decent price on the Voids and Sacreds and everything else. Frankly, even the silver is like a ridiculously overpriced. And then to me, it's like, why not? Like, they already have Drexstar and a couple other champions. Why just not make every champion that they've ever done a fragment
100%.
summon
Completely
just
agree.
farmable there? You know,
Brilliant
And it's-
idea. I love it. And they can charge whatever they want.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it could take you forever, but it gives you a reason to grind at it, you know? And then you get a good reward at the end. But anyway, look at it. We're really going down a different
We're
path.
solving all of the world's problems right now.
Absolutely. All the world's biggest problems.
Look at that. All the most important problems in Race Legends. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on. We've had 2 of these good videos. So once again, if you guys haven't seen it, make sure you go to Ash's channel. It'll be in the pinned comments. Have a link to it. Subscribe to the boy. And you got any last words?
Thanks for having me on, Darth. Always a pleasure, bro.
Much love, everyone. Bye-bye.